There's no doubt about this. Product reviews are good for users and for conversions. According to one study, adding just the first review can increase conversion by 20%. Reviews enriched with additional info about the reviewer or reviews that offer the ability to rate a particular product criterion are even more useful for users. You can generate reviews by collecting them from people who purchase on your website, or you can integrate them from vendors who sell reviews. Keep in mind that it can take a lot of purchases to get a single review. It took Amazon 1,300 book sales to generate the first review for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. This is why it's a good idea to implement both in-house and third-party reviews, especially if you're just starting out. If you go with a vendor, you need to know whether their solution makes the reviews accessible to search engines. Usually, third-party reviews are placed inside a hidden div or a no-script tag that pulls data with a JavaScript code. Talk to your vendor to find out more about the add-ons they offer to make reviews more SEO-friendly. The reviews can end up on multiple URLs, depending on the solution you choose and how you customize their out-of-the-box implementation. This means reviews can occur on URLs on your own website, on the vendor's website, or on other competing websites. This is likely to create duplicate content issues, so you'll need to pay attention. Just keep in mind that there is no such thing as a duplicate content penalty. However, if your reviews are duplicated somewhere else, they may not be working as well as you would expect. You need to first decide which type of content you want to surface in SERPs for reviews-related queries. Do you want to rank PDP URLs or product review pages that are specifically constructed to target reviews? Let's say you want PDPs to show up in SERPs for reviews-related keywords. In this scenario, the reviews should be placed on the PDPs and should be openly available to search engine robots. This means that the reviews will not be inserted in the code with JavaScript, Ajax, or other technology that loads them client-side. The reviews should be available in the HTML source code when a bot fetches the PDPs. All other pages, sections, or subdomains that list the same reviews should be blocked with robots.txt. To check whether your reviews implementation is SEO-friendly, look for the content of the reviews in the text-only cached version of the PDP. Additionally, do a fetch and render using Google Search Console to see if the reviews are showing up in the rendered page. Make sure you're rendering the mobile pages as well. For instance, Amazon allows the reviews for this bicycle SKU to be indexed. In this screenshot, you can see that the customer reviews are included on the PDP itself, and the reviews are cached by Google. Let's talk about the scenario in which you want a dedicated product reviews page to show up in SERPs instead of the PDP. Some vendors require a subdomain or a directory to publish their reviews. This is not necessarily a bad thing, and it's a valid approach for merchants who plan to attract searchers in the research stage of the buying cycle. The reviews keyword modifier suggests that users are closer to a buying decision. To increase the chances of product review pages ranking for review-related keywords, consider linking internally and externally with reviews in the anchor text. In this screenshot, you can see how the reviews subdomain on Clinique.com shows up in SERPs. This was a deliberate decision on their side. If you want the dedicated product reviews page to show up in SERPs, be careful with duplicate content on your own website. In many cases, you will list the same product reviews on both the PDP and the product reviews page. In these instances, you'll have to prevent crawlers from finding the reviews on the PDP. When you have the same reviews on multiple URLs, search engines will have difficulty identifying the right page to surface in SERPs. To check whether your reviews generate duplicate content, just copy a few sentences one at a time from various reviews and do a site search on Google. In this particular case, the same review shows up on 15 URLs. This needs to be investigated. However, if you list only a small fraction of the total number of reviews on the PDP, for example 5 out of 50, then you can let search engines access the reviews on the PDP as well as on the product reviews page. In this case, don't block the reviews subdomain or directory with robots.txt. You can see this implemented on Amazon. They have a dedicated directory for product review pages. The reviews for this bike are accessible to Googlebot and have been cached by Google. Amazon can afford this approach because the product reviews page lists 3 times more reviews than the PDP. Amazon could probably improve the product reviews page by consolidating the 3 paginated pages into one superset. Amazon uses this strategy to rank multiple review pages tied to this bike. Notice how the first position is taken by the PDP and the second and third by the product reviews page. Here are some SEO considerations you may want to keep in mind when implementing reviews. Pay attention to duplicate reviews on other websites. If your provider syndicates reviews in an SEO-friendly manner to other websites, meaning that they are accessible and available for indexing by search engines, that will cause duplicate content issues. Again, this is not like you're going to be penalized for doing this, but the SEO effectiveness of the reviews will be diminished. In this case, you should allow crawlers access to duplicate reviews only if you add substantial unique content to the pages the reviews are listed on, in addition to the reviews offered by your provider. For example, you can feature your own expert reviews or reviews that you collected on your own. If 90% of the reviews are syndicated somewhere else on the internet, wrap them within an iframe, put them on a robots.txt blocked subdomain, or Ajax the review implementation. You also need to be careful if you syndicate your own reviews on comparison shopping engines. In this screenshot, ABT is the original source of the review, but Bizrate and Shopzilla have the same content indexed and might rank above ABT. If you plan to syndicate reviews on comparison shopping engines, select which reviews to keep for your website and which ones to syndicate. Markup reviews and ratings with structured data such as microdata, microformats, or RDFA. Use schema vocabulary to mark up the reviews and ratings to get SERP-rich snippets. The reviews and ratings have to be displayed on the same page as the relevant product. Google explains their implementation in detail in the article linked at the bottom of the slide. Also, when working with schema markup, this tool might come in handy. Separate URLs for each review. If your current implementation generates separate URLs for each review, then using rel canonical to point to a view all reviews URL is acceptable. Display reviews of related products. If a product doesn't have any reviews, but there are other closely related items with reviews, you can display the reviews for the related item. However, you have to ensure that the reviews make sense to users. Do not mark up the reviews with semantic markup, and place those reviews in a JavaScript or robots.txt blocked iframe. The purpose is to offer something useful for users and not to spam search engines. Reviews are one of the best ways to keep product detail pages fresh. If you keep adding reviews to a product page on a regular basis, the page will be crawled more often, its authority will increase, and it will show up in SERPs for more queries. Other ways to freshen up PDPs are to include excerpts from relevant blog posts or to add 1 or 2 sentences from research papers related to the product, if applicable, of course.